So, Harry, I know how much you like USB Type-C.
I'm so thrilled.
Yeah, so Intel has released the spec for Thunderbolt 3. And Thunderbolt 1 and 2 piggybacked on the mini DisplayPort port, and Thunderbolt 3 is now piggybacking on the USB-C port.
Yes, I love it. It's the best. Not only has Apple taken $1,000 away from me because of that damn bet, but they've now gone and introduced a new port, which makes their new MacBook immediately redundant.
So,
Brilliant.
hold on. At what point does any of this have to do with Apple?
I was about to say, this is USB. It is a wide variety of organizations
it's on every device
that sort
now.
this out.
Android phones will all have USB-C connectors now. That's not an Apple thing.
No, you're talking about Thunderbolt
God
over
damn it, Harry.
USB.
Thunderbolt's not Apple
Thunderbolt
either.
isn't Apple either.
No.
Thunderbolt is mainly Intel.
Cognitive dissonance intensifies.
God damn it, Harry. Every time. Oh, no.
So you don't agree that this was like a really bad time for that MacBook to come out?
Oh, I think it's a bad time. I think it's weird that they didn't wait another, 4 months or something, however long they needed for this to come out.
Yeah.
I do think that's weird. Having said that, obviously it's been in the pipeline for a long time, so, I don't know. I don't know what.
You've never tried to take a Taiwanese manufacturer out of a development cycle, have you? It's actually impossible.
The other thing is Intel is notorious for delaying their shit, so this might not be out until it's time to refresh that MacBook anyway, so who knows.
Fair enough. Look, yeah, I know, I agree, it's not Apple, it's Intel, but show me a PC with a Thunderbolt connection on it. You'll be hard-pressed.
Well,
It's because it wasn't targeted at the PC market.
It was mini DisplayPort, which nobody wanted. Everybody's already putting USB-C on their computers.
Mm.
Moving forward, USB-C is the connector for USB, for everything. So piggybacking on that's the smartest thing out of anything. If they'd stayed with mini DisplayPort again, that would have been concerning, I think.
Yeah, I'm holding off judgment because I have never actually plugged a USB Type-C connector into anything.
Oh, it's so good. It's externally symmetrical and internally symmetrical. So you can plug it in either way. It's fine.
But is it, like... How do I put it? If I had an iMac, right, and I had, for example, a micro USB connector on the back of it, right? Even if I had it the correct way faced around, I'd probably break that connector trying to jam it into the back of my computer, because my computer doesn't move. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you're trying to plug something into your phone, you're holding both your phone and the cord, and so you kind of wiggle them to make it line up, and it's all fine.
So are you saying that we need to decide the future of modern connector technology by how easily you can break it?
Because if so, USB Type-A already wins that bet. It's the most breakable piece of shit in the world.
I've never broken a USB Type-A.
Oh, you've never worked... You don't work with LAN cables often, do you? They break so much easier.
Have you ever put a USB Type-A in the wrong way and then go, well, got to turn it, put it in the other way? Of course you have, everybody has.
Oh, yeah, everyone's done that, but I've never
USB
broken
Type-C,
USB.
that doesn't happen. So what would break?
No. I'm not saying breaking it from putting it in the wrong way. I'm just saying breaking it because it's too small. I've broken DisplayPort cables heaps of times.
Have you ever broken a lightning connector?
Not a lightning connector, but it's identical to mini DisplayPort.
No, mini DisplayPort is asymmetrical and much bigger and much easier to break. USB-C and lightning are both these small, just solid ingots of metal. You just plug it in.
I'm so confused by what you're saying. Mini DisplayPort is the identical port to Thunderbolt.
Yeah. And I'm Thunderbolt 2 and 1. This is Thunderbolt 3, which is USB-C.
So, is it only going to be that connector shape?
Yeah, it's Thunderbolt 3 is the Thunderbolt 3 protocol is using USB-C as its port, just like Thunderbolt 1 and 2 was using mini DisplayPort as its port.
I see.
So
there's
like
USB. There's USB the connector, and then there's USB the protocol. They are very different things. Even within USB, there are many different protocols as well. The one people most familiar with are HID.
So the new So this new Thunderbolt will have, you can send across, obviously, Thunderbolt. You can send across DisplayPort 1.2. They have 8 1.2 channels, which means you can drive 2 4K displays at 60 FPS. It has USB 3.1, which is 10 gigabits a second. And it has a PCI Express lane, so you can plug in an external video card. So, for example, you can have a laptop, like a netbook sort of thing that you carry around, and then you put it into a dock at the end of the day, and suddenly it's got a 780 Ti or whatever running in it.
This is working with both cables with and without an onboard chip in the cable. Isn't that right?
That's right. So except for the PCI Express stuff. So
I thought it just halved the speed.
Well, it does, and PCI Express, PCIe needs the full speed.
I see.
But for the USB stuff, USB is slow enough. USB 3.1 is half the speed of Thunderbolt. So Thunderbolt 3 can do up to 40 gigabits a second, and with the passive cable, which doesn't require a chip, that's 20 gigabits a second. So USB 3.1 is 10, so it's half of that.
I imagine this is going to create some really unintuitive complexities, though, when, say you've got a device that has USB Type-C, but not Thunderbolt, or the device you're connecting requires the full-speed cable, not the half-speed chipless cable. Everything plugs in, everything connects. What kind of error message is it going to give you?
Oh, no, well, I agree. We already know what's going to happen with that, because that already happens with USB 2 and USB 3. They both look exactly the same. So you're just going to get a little Windows thing that pops up and says, you are not using the full power of this device, whatever it says now when you plug in a USB 2 device into a USB 3.
Every connector ever made has to be able to support its own legacy. So you'll find that's not going to be a thing on the connector itself. It's going to be part of the UEFI of any board manufacturer.
Cool.
And Thunderbolt 3 is backwards compatible with 2 and 1 with an adapter, so you don't really have to worry there too much. Anyway, so I just thought that was really cool. It was really good. I thought that they're finally moving to a port that people want, because obviously Mini DisplayPort never took off outside Apple, and USB-C is already on every computer coming out this year. So
I don't know if it was that much of a failure. Hasn't your Surface?
Yeah, but
it's got a Mini DisplayPort on it.
Yeah, but my Surface costs almost $3,000. A tiny, shitty Asus laptop coming out of the factory tomorrow has 3 USB-Cs on it. You know what I mean? So
fair enough.
That's the advantage of USB, is that the idea of it is it's meant to be ubiquitous, and up until now USB has been ubiquitous but shit, and now it's looking like, even without Thunderbolt, just USB Type-C with USB 3.1 spec is an actual interesting port and a useful port, finally. Anyway, who remembers back in the day when USB was 40 megabytes a second transferring? And now we're about to get a cable that can do 2 4K displays, charge 100 watts, push a video card data through, and does 40 gigabits a second, and can actually do 80. Well, wrapping things up just quickly, Intel tells us they expect to see Thunderbolt 3 products begin shipping by the end of the year. Sort of giving this timing, we're sort of almost certain to see Thunderbolt shipping alongside Skylake stuff. But Intel's making it clear that at a technical level, Skylake and Thunderbolt 3 are not interconnected, and it would be possible to pair Alpine Ridge Thunderbolt 3 controllers with other devices, so Broadwell, Haswell, whatever. So it's not specifically connected to Skylake, which is what I thought it was. Turns out it's not. Anyway, Finny, what's been going on in your part of the world?
Fallout 4.
So you're sort of ambivalent about it? You're like, well...
Or are you living in Fallout 4?
Or have you destroyed your home and are now living inside some sort of nuclear bomb in your...
With only an Alsatian to keep you company.
Yeah, in preparation.
Yeah, I'm ridiculously excited now.
Mm-hmm. So explain what happened. There was an announcement.
Oh yeah, so there was the bullshit countdown of that on the page where they're like crapping on about stuff no one cared about. So it was a countdown. Then the trailer was supposed to happen. It didn't. So we all had to run to YouTube and watch the 3-minute 30-second trailer. The most important part about the trailer is that it confirmed Fallout 4 is coming. That's literally it could have just been a sign saying Fallout 4 is actually happening, and I would have been just as happy. The trailer, whilst it was a good trailer, doesn't show off an awful lot. It's just got a few sort of bits of interesting stuff, like the airship, for instance, looks absolutely awesome. In terms of the graphics, I know a lot of people jumped up and started whining about it. I don't particularly care. It looks like Fallout in Skyrim's engine, which, quite frankly, is all anyone wanted. So I'm perfectly happy with that. I mean, the lighting on it looks awesome, so it'll be really good. That, and if you don't like the texture resolution, wait 3 months and there'll be a mod. If you don't like the lighting, wait 3 months and there'll be a mod. So wait 6 months and you can turn it into a different looking game.
With boobs everywhere.
Exactly.
I will say, I did like the lighting. I think the biggest thing people were griping, or at least the biggest thing I was disappointed about, was the fact that it was based on the Skyrim engine, which is based on the Oblivion engine, which is based on the Morrowind engine, and they have the same animations from Morrowind. So did Skyrim as well, had this problem as well. You notice when people are running?
Yeah, that looks absolutely terrible.
Yeah, so that's sort of the big thing.
Bethesda is like that, though. I mean, they used the Gamebryo engine, which was used to make Morrowind, which was on the original Xbox. So you're playing a game based on it. It's sort of like how Call of Duty is based off of the Quake engine. No one really realizes it, and then everyone goes, no, that's not possible. And you're like, no, that's exactly how it works. So, but that's Bethesda. I mean, they do things their own way, by which I mean they don't do things properly.
That's okay. They're a company that understands others can do it for them, and they just hand out a creation kit and go, make our game better for free.
Why would you develop when you have a whole army of cronies who will do it for you?
And that's the easiest privilege.
Exactly. So the one of the good things about that, though, is that it's not been released on PS3 or 360, so there's no old-gen hardware, meaning that it's entirely new. So hopefully that means that they've adapted it to work on modern-gen hardware. So the Creation engine was a modified version of the Embryo engine to try and sort out some of the bugs, which they didn't really do, but mainly to make it look prettier and work a bit better. So hopefully they've gone and done that again to make it work better with current hardware.
The lowest common denominator is now good hardware.
Exactly, yeah. So hopefully they've updated it again, because the difference between Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3 in terms of its ability to work is incredible. So hopefully they've gone and done it again.
New Vegas. Being resurrected by a demon doctor whose head does 360s as you wake up. That
was Obsidian, so they were working with something they don't quite understand.
Yeah, technology.
Well, it's not really that, but Bethesda at least knows, okay, our engine is held together with nothing more than like sticky tape. And
they know where the sticky tape is.
Yeah, whereas Obsidian just sort of was handed it and go, all right, let's make something work. Like, oh, what are we working with here?
Yeah. Quick question, Finney. So in the trailer, so trailers are there to convey sometimes just a feeling, but in this case, this was meant to convey information. So other than it's obviously in Boston, what other sort of information of what the gameplay might be like, or what the setting or characters or story is like? What did you see conveyed in the trailer?
Well, the main thing, which I'll get to later, is that the character had a voice. We'll get to that in a minute. But from what I could see of everything, it was basically Fallout 3 in a new setting in Skyrim's engine, which ultimately is what Bethesda does best, because if you look at Morrowind, Oblivion, and Skyrim, they're effectively, at the end of it, the same game in a slightly better engine each time. Very little changes between games, and that's alright, because the formula they have works really well. Fallout New Vegas wasn't made by Bethesda, so it was very different to Fallout 3, just using the same engine. So hopefully because this hopefully has been made by Bethesda, will just be Fallout 3 with a lot of the mechanical updates from Fallout New Vegas, and all of that transplanted into Skyrim's engine. In a new setting, new characters, new story, that sort of thing. If that's what we get, honestly, I'll be over the moon with that, because that's all I've ever really wanted from Fallout, is in a better engine. Because Fallout 3 it aged surprisingly well. Like, it's an old game now, but it aged surprisingly well, and so did
how old is Fallout 3? 2007?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So it was in production for 6 years as well, but so that's what I'm hoping for. The big thing, though, at the end, which a lot of people jumped up and down about, which was also leaked back in 2013, along with the setting in Boston, was that the character had a voice. He said 2 words, it's like, come on, buddy, or something like that, which conveys absolutely nothing. All it meant is that he talked. So we have no idea how much the character will talk. Like, it could literally be you just have some comments in idle
It could
chatter.
be like a Master Chief style thing, or it could be a Mass Effect style thing. We don't know
Yeah,
the whole
it
extent of
could. Yeah, that's it. Or it could, similar to maybe even like the Far Cry 4, where you're effectively a silent protagonist who occasionally pipes up to say useless bits of information.
Yeah.
So we have absolutely no idea. Hopefully, we'll learn a bit more in E3. There'll probably be a mod to silence him within the first week, I'd say, depending on how critical it is to gameplay. But excuse me, some of my favourite mods from both Fallout games that have been released recently were ones which gave the player character more life to them, because the NPCs, they had idle animations, were able to walk around and talk and all that, so they seemed real, whereas the player character was this ramrod straight pillock staring straight ahead, standing in the middle of everything. And that always bugged me a little. So my favourite mods were always the ones which gave them idle animations and head tracking, those sorts of things. So hopefully the inclusion of a voice will also come with a lot of other things to just make you seem a little bit more alive and part of the game world.
I like, I mean, being able to invest yourself in an RPG is all well and good, but I think it's quite important to have some base characteristics to your character, if you know what I mean. Like, not going so far as something like Mass Effect where everything is fully voiced, but doing the whole silent protagonist thing, like the Gordon Freeman thing. A lot of people would say that enhances immersion and all that sort of thing, but I think it just sort of forces you to do the basics in your head when you can just let the game do it.
I don't mind projecting onto a character that's largely silent. That doesn't bother me, but some sort of expression, some sort of sign of life helps to, for me at least, really helps to bring the character to life.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, two questions I have, Finny. First one, on a scale of 1 to Ron Jeremy, how hard does this game make you?
This makes Ron Jeremy look flaccid.
Wow, you could probably break things with that. Second question, did you read the Reddit thread about the ex-Bethesda employee who claimed all of these things about the game? And if you did read it, what were your thoughts there? Do you give them any credence?
I didn't read it. What did it say?
Okay, they were making some really strange claims. Like, one was that you could only be male in the story.
Harry immediately gives up on Fallout and gaming in general.
You think ME3 was a big thing? Holy shit!
Dude, Harry, don't ever tell 4chan or Reddit that you play video games as a female. They hate that. They're like, wait, you're a guy? You play as a girl? Oh yeah, because I like looking at a girl's ass for 25 hours rather than a guy's ass. They fucking kill you if you say that shit.
Yeah, a lot of people are saying this fake. Like, they were saying that it was like the map was 3 times larger than Skyrim, which I don't think is developmentally possible in the short amount of time they've been working on it.
The Witcher's already 10 times bigger than Skyrim.
Yes, but The Witcher has been in development for significantly longer.
How long
map size is another debate we could have at a different, which could go on forever.
To be fair, the largest map size is Just Cause 2, which is possibly the worst game ever made.
No, the largest map size is Daggerfall, and there's also nothing in that.
That's the problem, is that the Fallouts so far, with the exception of Fallout New Vegas, it was horrible in utilising its map space, and the Elder Scrolls, with the exception of Oblivion, everything in it was interesting. There was no wasted space. Oblivion was almost entirely wasted space, unfortunately filled up with Oblivion gates. Morrowind was interesting space filled up with cliff races, and Fallout New Vegas didn't use a third of its map space for some reason. So.
Yeah, I don't think maps, like when games like the world is so big and all that sort of thing. It's a bit of a false flag, you know.
Well, there's a fine line to be walked. Like, okay, you can have a huge map, but nothing's in it. But you can also have a huge map with loads of stuff in it that no one will ever see. Because, like, Skyrim, for me, is probably the perfect one in that every town has quests in it, whereas in Oblivion there were lots of small towns hidden away which you did literally nothing in. But there was not a single boring part of the map in Skyrim, or Fallout 3 for that matter.
We're all overlooking the game which quite literally has the largest map in existence, with the exact thing that most of it is nothing, like a good 99.999% of it, which is Elite Dangerous.
Yes.
It's 1-to-1 scale.
Well, unfortunately,
and yes, most of it is nothing.
That's sort of like, well, guess what? That's how it really is. And you sit there going, you can't argue with that logic.
Yeah. It's kind of like, you can't complain that a scientifically accurate video game about the galaxy isn't filled with awesome aliens and explosions all the time.
Yeah,
'Cause
you
not
don't
what it
buy
is.
it. You wait for God damn it! What's the one that's been in development for
Star Citizen.
Star
Star
Citizen.
Citizen.
You want
Star
that? You wait for
Citizen,
Star
yeah.
Citizen.
Yeah, that's that
The
one.
game that will fail on John's computer.
Yeah, it will work on none of John's computers. He won't even be able to play it on someone else's computer.
Yeah,
He'll
I'll
walk
go to
there
your
and
house,
it'll
your
catch
computer
fire.
breaks. Oh, God. So you're excited then, Finny. That's good.
Extremely, and yeah, I can't imagine, Cal, that you can only play as a male character because it's completely against everything
Yeah, no,
Bethesda's ever done.
it's not in the spirit of Fallout. Todd Howard is. I can't see him doing that.
No, it makes no sense.
The only thing I really want to see in Fallout is less moral ambiguity that you had from New Vegas, where it was good because
Obsidian to make this
I
one.
want all of it.
because in Fallout 3, a lot of the good bad was too obvious, whereas they decided to pull back from that and go to, here's your options. There's no chance in hell of you figuring out which is a good option and which is a bad option, and basically you're a bad person no matter what you do in New Vegas.
Yeah,
I love that.
That's the idea, isn't it?
Well, no, Fallout New Vegas had bugger all direction because the character was... the courier was like a blank slate to the point where they might as well have not been there. They had no direction. Fallout 3, yeah, the polarizing nature of the good and bad, yeah, that was kind of bad, but in Fallout New Vegas, where they're like, every option sucks, it's kind of like...
I know, I think
why?
they went from one extreme to the other.
Yeah, as with all human endeavors, somewhere in the middle ground is the best, where there's no sort of black versus white, good versus evil sort of thing. But there isn't... Yeah, I know. My apologies, I didn't mean it that way, but that's how it came out.
Race war!
But there isn't the whole Fallout New Vegas of literally, there's nothing you can do that's good, you're screwed either way. Because that's just like, well, that's just really sucky, and kill the main
What they
story.
should do is they should get Bethesda to make the game and Obsidian to write it. That's the best of both worlds, I think.
Well, the interesting thing I found about Fallout New Vegas was that I can't remember if this was actually shown to be true or not, but I remember people saying that each vault was actually written by a different person. The story.
I read that as well.
Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
cool.
and like all I remember is there was this one in New Vegas where the entire vault was a recreation of the Milner experiment, which was the experiment of would you kill, would you harm, as ordered by an authority figure. And it ended up in the entire vault being killed.
The exception of 4 people who refused to kill each other.
Yeah.
My favourite was Vault 68, which was all the women and one man. And then Vault 69, all the men and one woman. It's fun. The Vault thing's a bit silly, isn't it? Like,
Oh,
when
yeah,
did it-
totally.
When did it
That's
turn
the
from
idea.
doing social experiments to fucking retarded jokes like Vault 69?
Oh, because the whole thing is, like, the whole setting from the original Fallout 2 and Fallout Tactics has always been a joke.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I noticed in this trailer. So Fallout 3 in New Vegas was a bit better about it, but it was very like bad apocalypse, like boring and bland and not great.
I always
like
preferred
green,
Fallout
brown.
3 over Fallout New Vegas.
Well, the old, I mean, like those two sort of felt drab. Compared to Fallout 1 and 2, which are all very colourful and funny and all that sort of thing. So this trailer, not saying it's funny, but this trailer looks a lot more bright and vibrant.
Lively.
Because
Yeah.
Fallout 3 seems like it's... Like, the whole idea is not post-apocalyptic. The whole idea is it's meant to be civilization after the first civilization's been destroyed. That's why they've set it so long after, right? 200, 300 years or whatever. It seemed like Fallout 3 was like, 200 years later, they're all still living... They've all still got destroyed cars in their front yards and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Well,
And
the
they're
idea
living in
of...
shitholes. Whereas this one seems like it's more of a moved along thing.
Hopefully, yeah. But the point of Fallout 3 was that the capital wasteland in Washington D.C. was the single worst hit part of the state. So it was like it was hit that badly, and everything afterwards was so bad that it didn't recover. You're right that 200 years later something should have gotten better, but it didn't. And especially the whole everything being green. Like the apocalypse happened 200 years ago, not 2 days ago.
Yeah. So that was a big problem I had with it. And so what I'm saying is, in this trailer, it looks like maybe they're going a different direction, which is exciting. So I might even play this one for longer than 2
If you
hours.
believe Reddit, it's exactly 10 years after Fallout 3. Why they put exactly there, I don't know.
Oh, thank God!
Like
it's February
to the
8th.
day, to the hour.
Which
You don't need
makes it-
exactly, just say 10 years.
Which makes it something like 3 years after New Vegas?
I don't know. I find them to be too different to be even bothering trying to...
They're set in different parts of the North
the
America,
America.
anyway.
I am aware of my
America.
basic American geography, thanks.
It might be interesting because Boston can be cold.
Massachusetts.
So Boston can be cold, so there might be some cool weather effects they can do.
The funny thing is, all I can think of is like the player character is now voiced by Kelsey Grammer or something.
Oh, that would be the greatest.
That would
You
be.
just
And the
run-
fe-
you just run
and
into
no,
breaks.
and the female character is voiced by Nicolas Cage, putting on a female voice.
No, the dog is Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, the dog is Nicolas Cage.
Woof, woof.
Every NPC is Nicolas Cage in face and in
Face
voice.
and voice.
Sorry, guys. Spoiler alert for Fallout 4. You are the dog.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's like, we were talking about this the other day, right, Harry, where it shows
Executive
that
producer.
thing of the guy talking to the dog. The guy in the vault suit, he says, come on, boy, or whatever. And then the camera slowly zooms into the dog's point of view instead of the human's point of view.
That would just be the best thing ever. I mean, we were all expecting Bethesda to just troll everyone with that countdown because we so deserved it. We deserved to be trolled. So if the game actually came out and you were the dog, that would just be the toppest of top kicks.
Oh, my God. Anyway, what's going on with you, Harry?
Oh, so many things, so many things.
Should we just say at the outset that we're not going to talk about WWDC until next week?
Yes, all right. We need
and
the
our
top
actual
troll.
developer is here.
Just so the listeners know. So in its place, we're going to talk about Google I/O 2015.
Oh, yes.
Tell me what interested you from Google I/O, Harry, and then I will tell you what interested me.
Okay. Do I start with the big things or the small things? I suppose I should start with the small things.
Avoid Google Photos, because I want to talk about that with
Oh,
you.
yeah. No, I have nothing to say about Google Photos, so I will leave that entirely to you.
Okay.
But, oh man, I've been losing sleep on this.
So first big thing, Android M.
Well,
Complete
wasn't so-
reorganization of Android.
the thing with Android M is it's actually small, little, nice changes, which I like. But frankly, that's not the thing that really gets me going. So let's talk about some of those small, little changes, like
That's why you
permissions
like
as you go is probably the best change, I think, for sure. It's something I've always wanted to do on all of my phones, and I never have been able to do that before. You install an app, you don't get asked for any permissions, you don't accept anything. It just can't use those things until it tries and you ask. So I download an application, it wants to use my camera. It asks me when it wants to use the camera the first time. It'll remember that choice, and I can go back and change that choice later on if I want that
You
app
don't
to
get
stop
a
using
huge
it.
list of permissions at the start, right?
Yes, but not only is it not a list, but it's things that I can change as I go, which is really cool, because it really shows me a lot about my phone. If I download an app and I see that it starts to, it wants to use my GPS location, it's going to make me think, why is it doing that? Is that doing that for me, or is it doing it for spam purposes? So that'll be a big plus. I also like the addition of, they didn't use this terminology, but I'd call it a web cocoon for web apps, because lots of apps have to kind of build their own browser, because they want to develop their application to be a web app on the phone. But that's a waste of time. And if you have it on Chrome, then you've got all kinds of other issues, mainly just that you don't have extra permissions. Chrome doesn't have extended permissions or anything like that. So if you have Chrome running an application which is its own little shell with extra permissions...
Fuck, I just spilled water all over my phone. God damn it.
John
Google
could not
wins
handle,
again!
could not
Google
handle
win
so
every
much
time.
Google talk.
Google win every time.
Shit.
Shit.
Sorry to interrupt you, Harold. That's all my
That's alright. The other small little thing that I liked was Uber's integration with Google Now. That I can talk to my watch to call a car is going to be awesome. I haven't used Uber yet. I'm really looking forward to it.
I still reckon the watch people are going to become worse than the Bluetooth people.
Yes, but I have a Bluetooth earpiece and a watch. I am the worst.
Oh my god!
I have one too. They're pretty useful, actually.
Seriously, ever since I got this Bluetooth earpiece, I've reached for it every time I get a phone call, partly because it'll automatically connect to the Bluetooth, so I can't use the phone.
That is the sound of Callan headbutting his desk.
It is indeed. How did you know?
No, it's really useful because now
It's
I don't
really
have to pull my
good.
phone out. It's great. You just
Cal, I will
But
join you
I
in this.
remember this exact point, probably about when I first came on the podcast. You guys were lambasting Bluetooth people,
fucking
and I said
what?
I use a Bluetooth
Podcast.
at
what the fuck
work.
is a podcast?
Oh, shit.
Whatever.
Podcast?
Look, you guys were lambasting people for we're using the Bluetooth, and they're just like, oh, they're such annoying assholes. It's
know,
and now you are those exact people.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that
waited
sounds
until
like
they were
us.
small enough. Mine's like the size of my fingernail or my
Yeah,
one of the-
I remember when Andrew first looked at my little one. He's like, wow, when did Bluetooth, earpieces get so small? And I had to remind him it was 2015 and that we are now old.
Did you say it via green text? Did you say we are now old, 2015?
Green text. Don't know if you can do that over SMS.
No, you can't. You can if
shit.
you don't send iMessages.
Yeah. Okay, alright, moving on. I want to get to my big thing about Google I.O. that really excites and also scares me a lot. And that is about their device integration. I don't think even they realize just how important this thing is. It's called Project Brillo, for lack of a better or good name. Like, why would they call it Project Brillo? That just sounds so dumb, and it sounds like something the Umbrella Corporation would put together.
Brillo pad is a scouring pad. That's the only thing I can find. It's also the steel wool that is pushed in about half or 3/4 of an inch from one end of a crack pipe.
Why you know that, I don't want to know.
Because the Apple fanboys needed that kind of stuff up their sleeve. Oh, shit.
What does it do?
Okay, so ultimately it just means everything can now be Android. I mean...
Everything is now spiders.
I mean everything. Okay, so it's basically... it's like the bare bones basics of the Android operating system that can be compressed into anything and everything on the tiniest chip, low power using stuff. They gave examples like your door lock that can be unlocked with your phone, or say an oven that can be turned on and preset when you open up a cooking app.
So it's embedded OS.
Yes.
But it's tying into the whole Android Home, or what are they? What's their version of HomeKit? What are they calling it?
You mean Nest?
No. Nest is a company owned by Google.
Yeah, Nest is third party.
So HomeKit is what Apple says for automating your home and unlocking your garage and turning on lights, that sort of thing from your phone.
Yes.
What's the Android version called? I forget what it's called. It's like Android Home or something.
I think that's the name of a particular brand of a set of products. But this is really telling the developers that, we don't have to make home. You can make whatever the heck you want, and you can make it an Android. So there's plenty of small examples I could come up with, just top of my head. Say a pen. I wrote my homework, and then I lost it. The dog ate it, but that's okay. Good thing I was using my Google Pen, because it remembers what I wrote. It's on my phone. I'll print you out a copy. Right? Small, silly things like that is child's play. This thing could be really frickin' big. Say I walk into Andrew's home and pick up his phone, right? A number of things could happen. Like, say it detects my Google Wear, or say I have an embedded NFC chip. A couple of things could happen. I mean, the phone could immediately lock itself and then warn Andrew, sending crazy messages and stuff going, Harry's stolen your phone, because Andrew knows that I'll install, My Little Pony background pictures on his phone as soon as I get the chance. But a number of things could happen. Say, okay, this is where it could get really awesome. Let me put this whole thing in context. Funny, 'cause I'm talking about Google Context. They did this whole piece on how Google can understand context. I'm listening to Skrillex, and so the example they gave was the guy's listening to Skrillex, and the guy said, "Okay, Google, what's his real name?" Now that question on its own makes no sense at all, but Google knows you're listening to Skrillex. They'll put the question into context and go, Skrillex's real name is so-and-so.
Sonny Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Sonny Moore is what his name is.
Okay, I don't listen to Skrillex, he's terrible.
Yeah, so this is, I found out, it's called Android at Home. It was announced back in 2011, but now they're actually doing this. It's called Brillo, but also Weave is the communication system underneath it. Is that right?
I believe. I don't recall the names.
So it's stuff with door locks and light bulbs and thermostats like Nest.
But let me get back to
operating
that.
systems. They're already very, very common. It's just
that
this will have the APIs natively.
Yeah, and so the whole Internet of Things thing has been a big thing for a long time. Like, going into a museum and looking at a display, and then the little thing down there that tells you about the display can have a million different sensors in it, and you'd have an app for the museum and it will know where you are and all that sort of stuff. So everything's sort of interconnected. So what you're saying is now Android is releasing a lower level version of Android that is sort of meant to be a standard across all these things.
Yes, but let me put this thing about context into some larger context. Say I'm at the JB Hi-Fi store, right? And I ask Google, hey, what's the price of their MacBooks? It'll give me... It knows I'm in JB Hi-Fi. It'll give me the JB Hi-Fi catalog, not just take me straight to the Apple Store. Now, what would be really cool with this integration plus context is, say I pick up Andrew's phone, because Andrew just asked me, hey, you went to JB, how was your, cost, how much was that MacBook or whatever? What if I were to pick up Andrew's phone and say, hey, can you give me that, okay, Google, give me that receipt from JB Hi-Fi today? Now, that would normally make no sense on Android's phone, but if it knows it's me, it has context to answer that question and pull up the right email. Now, that would be really cool, where hardware is just immaterial.
So, how does it know it's you?
This doesn't seem to be describing what Brillo is at all. This seems to be just describing Google Analytics on a wider scale.
No, this is just sounds like...
I'm talking about the
Harry,
potential
is this a thing they said you could do, or is this a thing you're expanding in your mind?
I'm thinking...
You're plotting points on a graph to say, in 30, 20 years, this is a thing you can do.
Well, the way they describe the technology, it sounds like this is an easy possibility that if everything's running Android and everything's speaking the Android language, I should be able to use any of those devices.
Android language.
Whatever.
Fucking
he means... I know
nearly every embedded operating system except Windows is Linux. They already communicate in the same fucking way.
I know what you're saying, Harry. You mean generally the...
Yeah, you mean they basically, I actually work with a lot of embedded operating systems.
Oh, tell us more about embedded operating systems.
I love embedded operating systems.
Listed on Brillo's website. I already know OEMs who are using Android because the core size is tiny, and that's the main thing you're looking for. Is to make the kernel as small as possible.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about the fact that everything's running Android. I'm talking about putting two of their technologies together to basically destroy the old world view on technology. Okay, I'm talking about everything being able to talk to anything. Have you guys seen District 9?
Oh, District 9, yeah.
Great movie, right?
Yes.
You know the scene where the alien has to put together, I think it's like a bomb or something? Like, while he's under fire, he just grabs some of his technology, throws it together in a way that he knows it'll explode. Like, every bit of that alien technology was interchangeable and interconnectable. They had a view of technology that just wasn't even human.
So, Harry, you're getting excited about this. It's great to get excited about it all, but you're getting excited about things that don't exist.
I'm saying that this can exist very soon because they just demonstrated...
Did they announce that?
No, I'm saying that's what the point of these IOs are. Like, here's the tools that we have. And so I'm looking at going, with those tools, we could do this.
Right, but come back to me when Google announces a product, not a project.
Right. But that's an Apple view. It's not about products. That's precisely what I'm
because
saying
you are the product. That's what I'm saying. You are selling yourself to Google to get these products. Like, the price of your perfect world where everything works and is interconnected and knows you is that you have given up. I've
given up my soul, have I?
You've given up your soul to Google, and it knows everything. For your thing to work, your context and everything, Google has to know everything about you. Does that not freak you out?
No. For me to pick up Andrew's phone and for it to know that it's me and for me to ask for my email, it only needed to know pretty much two things. One, it needed to know it was me. It doesn't need to know everything about me.
Yeah, but it already does. It needs to know where your JB Hi-Fi was. It knows all your receipts. It knows where you've been throughout the day.
Yes, I allowed all those things. So I allowed my phone to get a GPS location on me in JB, right? Mm-hmm. I also have my email with Google, so Google knows that I purchased a MacBook for this amount of money. Mm-hmm. It then also knows, because I have a watch registered with Google, that it was me picking up Andrew's phone. I then asked for my email, it pulled it up. I don't see any of that information as information that Apple users don't give away either. It's the exact same thing.
Google uses you to sell to their customers, which are their advertisers. So every single thing you do that is being tracked, it's reading your email, it knows what flights you're getting on, what time you're getting to Threadbo next week or whatever, all that sort of stuff. It knows all that, so it can advertise things specifically to you. Now that's fine in and of itself, because that's with Apple or with other stuff, you pay an upfront price and then you get a product, right? With Google, you don't pay anything other than your data, and you get products for free. That's a separate sort of trade, right? But in this world where everything is modular and everyone knows you, and it's Minority Report sort of thing, where you walk past a store and they go, "Oh, hello, Harry, you've come back. Thanks for coming back. Here's those jeans you tried on last time. Do you want another pair?" That world is a very scary world to me.
Yes, like I introduced this whole piece. It's wonderful and it's scary. I agree that there's a lot of information.
I think I know why they called it Project Brillo. Because Project Skynet was already taken.
Because Project Let's Sneak this evil shit in everyone's lives didn't work out for them.
But I mean, come on, this is coming out at the exact same time that no application can use my microphone, my camera, my GPS locator, my my Google Pay account, without me initially saying, yes, you can use it when you use it. It's not just an install. Yes, you can use this. You might use this at any time. I don't know when. I just hit accept when I installed you. This is now, oh, you want to use that? Okay, you have to go through me.
You need to watch the South Park episode called Sentai Pad.
And then watch the South Park episode Simpsons did it, because Apple did this 2 years ago. I'm not going to say that. Now, I want to talk about something cool, actually good, that I like from Google I/O.
Oh, this is good.
Well, no, it's I think it's Google at its best, right? So what you just described is Google at its creepiest. And this is Google at its best, I think. So Google Photos, this is kind of creepy as well. So it's free and unlimited, although it does compress your photos down to under 16 megapixels, which is shit. But what the cool thing with it is, it's a photo service. We can just upload everything, but because Google's got so much of everyone's data, it can do machine learning stuff like knowing what a beach is, or what boats look like, or what an opera house looks like. So you can just search for opera house, and it'll show you pictures of the opera house.
How is that less creepy, John?
Because
the computer is now learning.
It's just doing it to photos. Well, they used to call it AI, but then they realized that AI is not really a thing that exists, so they call it machine learning now. But that's what Google does with everything, right? Like, it's Google Now stuff. That's all machine learning already.
Oh, yes. Its image processors are amazing.
Yeah, so it's getting a whole bunch of everybody's photos, and, selling that photo data to advertisers, but in return you're getting this really cool service of this auto tagging thing. You don't need to go in and tag stuff. We can just, we're like, we're all hanging out. We're like, oh, Finny, remember when you fell in the water at New Year's Eve 2 years ago? It's like, oh yeah, and so I can just type, New Year's Eve or
Finny water,
Finny water, or just water. Yeah, Finny water, exactly, because it tags our faces as well. So I can say Finny water, and it'll have Finny in the water. You know what I mean? Like that's quite cool. That's a really cool use of my data. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I guess with that's a trade-off I'd be willing to make. The only downside is the photos being up to 16 megapixels. We need higher than that. Cameras have 50 megapixels these days. So that sucks. But
yeah, we just don't have the storage capacity, unfortunately.
Google does, though.
Not for, that many pictures. Think about just how many pictures there are. The storage of every single picture in 16 megapixels as opposed to every single photo in 16 and above is like, what, 100-fold difference?
That's true. I've just seen here there's actually a paid tier where you can get above 16. So if you pay for your storage, you can...
That's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, you can get above 16.
50 gig.
Oh, there you go.
Which is $2 a month.
Okay, yeah, I get... Well, is it part of your normal Google Drive storage? Like your Google account storage?
I believe, for what I saw of it, because Google Drive gives you 15 gig, right?
It gives you 30, doesn't
For free.
Checking.
I might be wrong, but I pay for a terabyte with Google Drive, so if I've already paid for this, then I should be okay. Point is, though...
That's scary. I just got an email from Google.
Saying what? I heard you like podcasts.
We heard you talking about a sort of podcast you do.
Oh,
Trust us, we're totes not creepy. No, the reason I like this, though, is for all those people who don't... backing up is a thing that should never be initiated manually, because everybody always forgets. Backing up needs to be an automatic thing. And so, for all these Android users who don't back up their photos, they don't have a backup solution, Backblaze or whatever, this is a great way for their stuff to just automatically be uploaded. And they don't care if they're JPEGs and lossless and shitty. They're just happy that 10 years from now they can look back on photos of their son or their daughter being born or whatever, and they never had to think about it. So there's tens of millions of people out there who otherwise would probably have lost their photos when they switched to a new Android phone or something.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. That's probably one of the most important things in this day and age. I've always felt that as soon as everything became digital, loss rates just went through the roof.
It was a learning curve, right? People had to learn how to store their stuff. They don't put it in boxes anymore. They've actually got to think about it.
Yeah, exactly. There is no box with your family photos. It's on all these devices, and the worst part is, of course, every now and then your device will break. I accidentally threw my phone at someone. I was very angry. My phone is now gone. Oh, I had some really good photos on that phone. They're gone forever.
So this is good. So a couple of years ago, I was a lot more worried because iCloud was not good yet. Photo stream stuff was not good. iPhoto itself was shit. And the Google photo storage stuff wasn't a real solution either, like this. And so now with the new iCloud photo library, and now with, I think it's just called Google Photos, is that what it's called?
Yeah, just Google Photos.
So now with this, that covers the majority of people. The most used cameras in the world are everybody's phones, and the most used phones are iOS and Android. So that pretty much covers everybody now. So everybody's okay.
Yeah. I agree. I have a media server specifically for saving all of my stuff to it. One thing that is the most laborious to take care of is photos. Every now and then I'll upload a whole bunch of photos onto my server. I'll maybe think about organizing or naming them, but it's just way too much effort. And so photos become really sporadic. There's these huge gaps where apparently for months I didn't take a single photo. When that's not true, I just couldn't be bothered to put it on the server. So if photos can become just another thing that the cloud can do for me, tops.
Yeah. All we need now is to hope that Google Photos can auto-tag dank memes, because that's what they have.
Yeah. Oh, man. Just just yesterday I uploaded all the photos of some of us going to Japan, and Facebook freaking tagged everyone correct 100% of the time. They had like the side of Sandra's face. I was like, "Yep, that's Sandra." Done.
Isn't that creepy as well? Like useful but creepy.
Useful but very creepy. But I mean,
that's interesting, right?
That's what it's for.
For most people, Facebook is where their photos are. That is their photo backup, which is very bad because there's such shit quality. There's such shit quality, and what happens if Facebook just goes, or something happens, or they, who knows what can happen with Facebook because it's not the largest.
Google will buy all the photos.
Yeah. Well, like with Google, I feel safe with my photos because it's like if Google, not safe like they're okay, but I mean safe they're not going to go anywhere. Because if Google goes down, the internet's got bigger problems.
It's the end of the internet.
Yeah.
Shit.
Anyway, what's going on with you, Cal?
Oh, I just found a whole load of just really, really stupid stories. Probably one of my favourite ones was a woman trying to sell the sun.
Wait, the sun is in her sun, or the sun is in that...
as in that giant ball of burning hot plasma in the sky. The woman's name is Maria Angeles Duran, and
Della Sola.
This woman has one hell of a life, and you can tell she's the kind of person that do this. She studied nursing and law, dreamt up her own religion, and penned a kinky romance novel.
Was her religion sun themed?
I don't know.
Is she a Dark Souls player?
No, but she's following in a man named Dennis Hope, who claimed every planet in the solar system except Earth, including all the moons, and said that he claims them on an alleged loophole in the Outer Space Treaty, which is kind of stupid. So she thought, well, he's already taken up all the planets, I'm going to take up the sun. And she has been trying to sell plots of land on the sun on eBay.
How much? I kind of want to buy one.
Well, they've already all been kicked off, so I can't actually find any of them. But
that's something that's going to be fun. The guy who writes. I
think this opens up questions that are probably only interesting to myself and Finney, which is how can you sell plots of land when there's no land? It's a boiling hot bowl of plasma.
There is no solid core to it at any point. Yeah, it's a giant fusion reactor. And by being exceptionally stupid, I think.
And if I go to this woman and I say, I will give you $20,000 for the entire sun, and she's stupid enough to take it, can I then charge every solar power company for what is actually
That's what I was going to say. You are stealing my power.
Yeah, this is my sun. I paid for it.
I guess you're technically selling like a waterfront, right? Like, forget the temperature situation. You'd have to have your air balloon sort of situation. Like, whoever owns Jupiter and is selling off Jupiter, they'd have to be selling like a Bestman type situation, right? That's what it'd have to be in the sun, ignoring the temperature situation, the pressure situation, the fucking sun situation. Ignoring all that, it'd have to be a Bestman situation.
Yeah, the surface of the sun isn't actually that hot.
2000
Harrison Leak
degrees.
2015.
Ladies and gentlemen, according to Harrison Leak, 2000 degrees Celsius is perfectly livable.
Not that hot. Harry,
comparatively, it's quite cool.
50 degrees
rockets.
kills humans, but 2000 is just fine,
It's not that hot.
It's a bit toasty. It's like setting your air conditioner to Bahamas.
Yeah. You mean in comparison to the core or something? I'm assuming, where it's
the difference is ridiculous. You guys keep talking. I need to Google this.
What, the core of the sun? Oh my god.
Oh wow. Yeah, no, I would actually be interested in buying the planets simply because I would love to sell them for their helium-3 content, because that will be very, very good. Lots of money.
The moon's got a ton of that shit, apparently.
Yeah, but not as much as the gas giants.
Well, yeah, but it's a bit easier to mine the moon than it is to mine Jupiter.
I don't know. I'm thinking some gigantic sort of like vacuum that just goes all the way down towards the surface.
There is no surface. What are you talking about?
To in the atmosphere where there will actually be pressure for which a vacuum could work. I don't think it's possible anyway. Why are you entertaining this idea?
I'm saying right now they could mine the moon for helium.
Okay, Harrison, have you found the information, or should I move on to the next ridiculous
The
story
coolest sections detected in sunspots can be as low as 4,000 degrees Celsius. However, the inner part of the core is typically on average 2 million degrees Celsius.
Oh, so freezing.
Somebody get me a jumper.
God damn, Harry.
Shit. No, the next stupid story I found was actually a very amusing one, which was an ISIS warrior who got bombed because he tweeted. He took a selfie and tweeted it and left the geotagging on.
Did he get bombed by social justice warriors?
This is a story from Defense Tech. Who quote General Hawk Carlyle as saying it was a post on social media to bombs on target in less than 24 hours. Incredible work when you think about it.
Wow.
Well,
they had to clarify that they were bombing the right thing, and they knocked out a command center.
yeah, but I still find it funny. It's like tweet photo dead within 24 hours.
Social media is dangerous.
Yeah, it doesn't only cause PTSD, it causes TTSD.
It causes bombs.
Yeah.
And the last in my list of really stupid things I found that are sort of tech-related, how many people have blamed their dog for eating their homework?
It's just an old idiom, isn't it?
All the time.
Yeah, no, there is a man in
dog for
Florida
fucking my
who
wife.
blamed his cat for downloading child porn.
Well, to be fair, the cat just wanted some cat porn and kept typing in CP to find the cat porn.
Shit.
And he's a cat, so he just kept typing CP.
Yeah, I've got the story here from NBC Miami. Keith Griffin was charged Wednesday with 10 counts of child possession porn, over 1,000 illegal images, and he claims it's all the work of his kitty.
What's the cat's name? I need to know.
Could it be? And I love this. I've got to give credit to this NBC writer. This is excellent. The last paragraph here. Could it all be a sinister plot from a vindictive feline? Maybe. After all, cats have been known to play a smooth tune on the keyboard before.
Oh my god!
Oh my goodness.
And then they actually have a video embedded of a keyboard cat.
Oh my god! Now I'm just secretly thinking Keyboard Cat was looking up child porn all along. Keyboard Cat loves that chan.
But in serious news, E3 starts next week. Is there anything that you guys are looking forward to?
Fallout 4.
No shit. Is there anything anybody else is interested in seeing?
4.
We've talked about that.
I am very much looking forward to actually seeing some gameplay footage of Battlefront. I'm also looking forward to getting a release date or something, or some more footage of Halo 5, and I really, really, really want to see what they're doing with Destiny in Year 2, or Season 2. No, they're calling it Year 2. Is it going to be Destiny 2, or is it going to be... the Destiny we have now, is that our base game for the next 10 years? You know, what's the situation? They're going to reveal all that, so that's very exciting.
Do you have any interest in Activision's other offering?
What is it?
Black Ops 3.
No.
What have they done this time? Now the fish are hyper intelligent.
To be honest, Advanced Warfare was really good. It was Ghosts that was shit and had the dumb fish. Advanced Warfare was really good, but this is not the Advanced Warfare people, is it? It's the other one?
I don't know. I don't follow COD that closely, because I just really don't care.
Oh, Need for Speed. The new Need for Speed. It looks like it's an Underground sort of a reboot of the Underground part. Underground was... Oh, fuck, I played so much of that shit. I'm so excited.
Yeah, no, I actually did love the Need for Speed, even though I'm not really keen on racing games really at all. But I still used to play my copy of Need for Speed Blacklist or something. Most Wanted, that's the one.
Most Wanted,
and yeah, no, that was heaps of fun.
Yeah, the Underground, Most Wanted, and not the Hot Pursuit before that. They're pretty much Fast and Furious in game form. Dumb, super fun cars, really shitty acting. Like, I remember in Most Wanted, the FMVs. Do you remember them, Cal? The cinematics that actually had real actors in them, and they actually thought they were making a really serious crime drama, but it was so bad. It was it's infamous. Look it up on YouTube if you get a chance to watch.
I have seen it. It's
so for Harry and Finn, we have to get drunk and watch it. It's so fucking funny. It's like there's this cop who's chasing you, like you're the street racer, right? And there's this cop who's chasing you, and he pulls you over. He's like, "Sweet car you got there, bro. What's it got? Gauges, shifters, wheels? I bet it's got at least 10 kilowatts under that hood." No, sorry, 10 horsepower. It's like they didn't even think before they wrote the script. So
oh my funny. God. Well, they're apparently Ubisoft are doing more on The Division, whereas I think that they should stop joking around and actually release the fucking thing.
That's a Star Citizen. That's never coming out.
Yeah, no. They're doing more on Rainbow Six Siege, which is like, well, fuck, October, you fucked up Patriots. How long until you fuck this one up?
Yeah, well, I mean, Patriots never came out and turned into this, I guess, but I'm really happy with the stuff we've seen of the Siege. It's
yeah, and I was happy with what we saw of Patriots.
Yeah, but Patriots...
they just need to release it.
Yeah, well, Patriots was just a cinematic. There was no actual gameplay. We've seen Siege gameplay.
I like the concept,
wild. Counter-Strike. It's like old-style Rainbow Six, but with Counter-Strike permadeath sort of thing. It's cool. I'm looking forward to that.
And probably Konami's last time there.
That's true. What would they have? Metal
Gear Solid 5, Phantom Pain.
I'm ambivalent about that. Tucker would like that, though, I guess.
Anything from you, Harry? You haven't said a word.
He doesn't like video games, remember?
Stop enjoying video games.
Wait a second. I'm seeing a lot from Nintendo. Do you like Nintendo, Harry?
Nah.
There's lots of stuff for the Wii U. Do you like the Wii U, Harry?
PC Gaming Master Race.
Speaking of PC and
yes.
E3, we've got some news about Xcom, don't we, Harry?
Oh, yes. Exciting news about XCOM.
How did I miss that? It's the second one on my list.
Okay, yes, I am on board on E3 then. Okay.
Yeah, also,
I'm changing gears.
Oh, no, I mean, XCOM's exciting, but the news we have is not exciting. I mean, it's kind of good, but kind of bad at the same time. I mean, about the PC exclusivity for XCOM 2. Why is nobody talking?
Harry, what's going on? I think we've lost Harry.
Have we? Harry?
Yeah, no, I think we've lost him.
Wait.
Oh, there you are.
Sorry.
What happened? What did you do?
My flux capacitors are out of alignment.
Oh, God.
By which I mean my USB Type A disconnected.
Well.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so XCOM.
Yes, so PC exclusive. This took me by surprise. Like, really by surprise. The trailer came out, and it looked very... sort of actiony in a martial arts kind of way once they'd gotten close enough to stop shooting each other with guns. So I was thinking like, oh great, are there going to be like quick time events or, button mashing things I have to do when an enemy gets this close? What's going to make this a bit more real time in amongst the
turn-based? Well, there's a melee class, which is what that is.
Yeah, there's a melee class, and I thought, how are they going to, spice that up, so to speak? And thinking, with consoles in mind, I'm like, well, that's obviously button mashing and that kind of thing. PC exclusive, like.
Well, it is being ported by Feral, same way as Enemy Unknown did.
Well, so they're saying Mac, Linux, and Windows.
They're
not ruling out.
Are doing it for PC, and Feral are doing it for OS X and Linux.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I was waiting for you to pick up on that.
Yeah,
OS 10.10.
Yeah, they're not ruling out consoles in the future, but they're saying right now that a lot of the stuff they want to do about displaying information in text boxes needs a person to be close to the screen and all that.
Yep.
So they're sort of.
That sounds friggin' awesome. I enjoy text on screen. I was someone who read all the codex entries in Mass Effect and all of that stuff. Didn't even need to be voiced. Forget it. I'd read it anyway. So
I'm kind of disappointed that there's no gamepad support on the PC because I loved playing XCOM with my controller.
No. This must be keyboard and mouse.
I can't do it.
This is a game for a commander, not a pleb.
Okay. Very good. So you're excited about XCOM?
I'm very excited for that. And it also means that it'll probably be possibly a bit mod-friendly.
Oh.
We will see.
In fact, have I got news for you, Harry?
Yeah?
The devs did an interview today explaining to everybody why it's PC exclusive.
Yes.
And part of the reason is it's very, very moddable. In fact, the entire scripting engine is going to be open source. So you can shoot sex aliens all night long, if you like.
Why didn't they do this with Dragon Age? I want my dwarf, damn it.
Yeah. Finny, are you excited for anything?
Bethesda. Yeah, Fallout 4, that's it, to be honest.
That's it.
Oh dear, Finny's stuck on loop. Someone hit reset.
Yeah. But thing I'm most pumped for, I'd say, is probably.
What about anyone keen for Battlefront? Or
Yeah. I said Battlefront. I'm so keen for Battlefront to see some actual gameplay. Like what Finny said, like if Fallout 3 just came with a new engine and a new coat of paint, he'd be happy. I'm like that with Battlefront. I just need Battlefront 2, but it looks like Battlefield 4.
I'm kind of keen to see how the new Deus Ex comes along.
That's right. Yeah, we got all that footage leaked late last year, and then we haven't heard anything.
And all I'm glad is that it's Adam Jensen again. Because he definitely didn't ask for this. I didn't ask to be in the sequel.
Yeah, it's...
even though he's like the Lampoon character, he was... I did actually like him as a character. He was shitty and one-dimensional, but that was perfect for the character that he was supposed to be.
Yeah. And, well, in this, he's not the main character in the new Deus Ex. There's another character.
He's on the cover.
Yeah, he's sort of like the mentor, I guess. You play both. It's a Raiden situation, where you play as this new guy and Jensen.
According to Wikipedia, it says Adam Jensen will return as the protagonist.
Well, at least that was in the leak, so maybe the leak was false.
No, it depends. Wikipedia, leak, they're both about as reliable as each other.
Yeah, that's true. All right, well, let's move on to what we've been playing then. Harry, you and I have been playing a particular game called Polish Forest Simulator 2015.
So, this is a big problem. It's hit critical mass to the point where I can only play it. John, I apologize. I've actually been in the foulest mood all day today. I've started the day in typical fashion, sending a few messages just to rustle some jimmies, and because boy do I enjoy
started
it, John.
The day,
exactly,
ended the day too.
That's just it, and it just kept because I was in a shitty mood. I just kept it up. And the reason I was in a shitty mood is because I just have not slept. I have not eaten. I have not got any of my affairs in order. I'm just playing The Witcher 3. That's all that is happening at the moment.
Fuck, is that how long your description went? I actually went and got a drink, came all the way back here with my mic on mute, and you were still describing your day.
It wasn't interesting either.
You can listen back about OEMs.
Yeah, let's do that. Cut that out.
Fuck you. So it's a big issue because boy is this game immersive. The exact point where it hit critical mass for me was the very first night in game.
Second of the game.
No, the very first second. No. I mucked around for like half a week just with settings and graphics and SLI to see if my computer would cope, and it's just coping. It's just on board with two 570s in SLI.
Before you said hardware, I thought you were going to say character creator, and I was going to be like, it's one fucking character. You just click.
There is no character creator.
Yeah, although you can change his looks later on in the story. Just saying.
Awesome.
Yeah, you could in Witcher 2 as well.
Well, there's beard growing technology, so you get shaved about 2 hours in the story.
I got up to that.
Yeah, and then you can go continuously get shaved, or as you're playing, the beard slowly grows out.
I like the beard. The beard looks very distinguished.
I hate his voice, but I like the beard.
I love his voice. His voice is great. But anyway, so the first
What are your settings, first off, Harry? What are you playing on?
High. Not ultra, but high. VSync on.
Hairworks on.
Hairworks for
John Russellman on.
Hairworks for Geralt only is an option. Mm-hmm. So everyone else has the non-NVIDIA hair. But I've always wanted that technology to be used, so I'll be damned if I ever turn that tech off.
Does it work on his pubes?
I haven't got up to a sex scene just yet. I will get back to you.
Oh, so it's not like The Witcher 2 where it opens with one.
Oh, no. It opens with tits and ass and boobs, but boobs and tits are the same thing.
Really?
But it does not involve sex.
No.
He's in the bath.
God damn it, you keep on distracting me from my damn story.
I'm so good at it.
So, the first night where the sun starts to set, I'm like, oh shit, the sun is setting. I better, I better wrap this quest up. And it gives me quite ample time to wrap it up. I go towards the town, because I just want to kind of hang around the town for the first night. I'm sure there's some cool monsters I could go and kill, but I'm still kind of acclimatizing. I want to check the notice board, see what everyone does at night, how they wrap the day up, because just like in The Witcher 2, everyone's behavior changes at night. They go into houses or, don't venture as far from the town. And as the sun went down, the wind started to kick up a bit. And the lighting was beautiful, and I'm hearing everyone's dialogue change a bit, and I'm just like, I am there. I am fucking there. This game is going to destroy my next couple of months. I am going to become a horrible person in real life, because there is only this game to play.
As opposed to...
Yeah. No, I agree. The best thing this game has going for it, well, its writing's really good, but its
writing.
Its atmosphere is so fantastic. Have you gotten a Velen yet?
Yes.
So, how fucking... So the whole game is depressing as fuck. Like, the entire world, everything is
completely fucked.
Is fucked. But
it's Polish. Of course it is.
And this game
There's a
screams
Polish guy
Poland.
who wrote Metro.
Yeah, this game screams Poland. It is the most Polish thing you've ever seen.
It's ridiculous.
It is so depressing and dark and dank.
You know what the worst part is? The worst part is, like, the one thing that looks awesome and looks hot, which is obviously Yennefer. The game starts with him chasing after her. Finally got up to her, right? Mm-hmm. And she looks fucking gorgeous, okay?
She's tip-top.
She is just, like, absurdly sexy, but also really not interested in you, and, like, everything's super depressing around the situation. And I'm like, wow, that's my ex-girlfriend. Yep.
I love how it's his ex-girlfriend as well, but I love how there's all this crazy shit going on, the war, all this sort of stuff, but they're just telling you a story inside that. Like, this is not the story of the hero saving the day and fall for Elder and all this sort of shit. There's none of that. This is a story inside a much wider world. Yeah. And so, like Velen, for example, that's the no man's land, right? Nobody's claimed it yet. And so it's a swamp. It's been, there's been wars that has happened there. You're always sort of behind the army that it's just passed through, and so you're dealing with these villages and shit. It's a really great context to put a story into. A lesser writer would have made the story about the war, but they're making it about a personal story. Chasing Geralt's. I don't want to spoil anything. Chasing Geralt's something. It's just really great, and then all the little stuff's written really well as well. Have you come into any of that yet, Harry? I was talking about last week where you do a side quest, and then that leads to another side quest, and that leads to another side quest, and before you know it, you've done 20 hours of this one side quest chain, and it's actually affecting the main story too. Have you run into any of that
I
yet?
haven't done what you'd call a succession of side quests that have led one to another. I think I've just kind of... Maybe I've walked into, like, halfway into a whole bunch of them and they've just split up a bit. I've done some side quests that were really, really awesome story into themselves. The Noonwraith side quest was really cool. I like that.
It was so creepy.
That tongue.
Oh my god, it was like fucking Google in a well. It was so creepy.
Yeah, it was pretty messed. But I really love how you can prepare. Like, you can look up...
their weaknesses.
Their weaknesses. Because he's a witcher. He knows about these monsters. So it's like the journal entries about each monster is really just you accessing Geralt's mind.
Your memories,
and what he knows about these monsters. He knows that this thing is very weak at this time of day and that you can use such and such potion on it. That's really cool.
Or use this trap to trap it, or all this sort of stuff. The coolest thing with this game is it does make you feel like how the witches are described in the books, which is they're not crazy. You're not some crazy superhero. You can't do magic. You can do science, but you can't do magic like a sorceress can or a sorcerer can. You probably aren't the best sword guy in the world. Your deal is you're really prepared. You're slightly mutated, but not in a crazy way. You're really prepared. You're an okay swordsman. You've got muscles. You're fit. But
You're a
just keep
professional
going.
monster hunter.
You're a professional monster hunter. You're not a superhero. Geralt gets fucked up.
Yeah. I liked...
really
did you get the side quest with the girl with the brain damage in the herbalist's hut?
Yep. Did you heal her?
Yeah, I did.
Ooh.
So that's really cool the way he put it, because the side quest is, you can give this girl a Witcher potion, but she's human, so, big risks involved. And so he describes it very matter-of-factly, like, this potion would work instantly on me, but it won't, the effects of the potion won't appear for at least a couple of days in her.
And it might kill her.
And it might kill her. That's the question of the quest. Do you do something or do you do nothing? Because if you give the potion to her and it fails, she is going to die a horrible, agonizing death. If you do nothing, she dies quietly and not painfully.
She dies either way. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's not talk too much more about the story because we're really
that's just a side quest.
That's just a side quest. But just know that it's a great story. It's fantastic. I love it. The atmosphere is really great.
This game's going to cost me $800.
You need to buy a new video card. Now, Harry, are you frustrated with the combat yet?
No, not at all.
Really? The movement doesn't kill you? The fact that he just fucking takes a second to start walking, and then when he does start walking, he's in a massive sprint and he turns at a dime and...
No, you press control and you walk. Like I had a hilarious... Yeah, I see what you're saying. The very first time I went to the Stronghold...
Oh, yeah.
I didn't have a problem with the pub, but the Stronghold, because you have to walk up this flight of very narrow stairs, I missed the stairs entirely. That was funny. And then bumped into someone. But that was just me not knowing the controls. It's... As soon as I get into a populated area, I always hit control, which turns off run. I just walk everywhere. It's slow... you need to be a bit patient, but because I'm so immersed into the game, it makes sense that he'd get off his horse and just walk through town. He's not going to run through town bumping into everyone. You can do that in this game. If you're in a rush, you just want to, finish all the side quests, get everything on. You can run around and bump into everyone like a mofo. I don't give a shit. Get the fuck out of the way. I'm a Witcher. What are you going to do?
Well, that's what I've been doing, but I'm like,
no.
Playing a video game. I want to get to the next.
I like this game too much to disrespect the NPCs.
Oh my god! Well,
so I walk everywhere. Also, I don't use the controller like a pleb.
Well, I tried with the mouse and keyboard and I couldn't do it. It was too fucking retarded. So I use a controller and it's...
But is there a button? Is there a button on the controller that switches you between running and walking?
Harry, it's an analog stick.
Oh, so you just have to slightly move the analog stick?
Yeah, you just slightly move it and you walk. So I guess I could try... I guess I'd try that, but... No, but the thing is just general usage. Like, generally the first time everybody experiences the shit controls is when they first go into the pub. And they suddenly have to walk around and do shit. And suddenly they're running all over the fucking joint and they're turning left and right. That's when everyone runs into the problem.
So am I trialing this game on a joystick just for fun?
Yeah, a steering wheel.
Fucking joystick. Gold.
Well, that's fun.
We'll do one of those things where... Andrew's in charge of the inventory, I'm in charge of mouse movement, you're in charge of a keyboard. Callan chooses which quests to do.
And then
this is a bad idea.
Colossal fuck up the game.
Then we put the Oculus Rift on Gavin.
No, the better part is none of you can see what's going on. The monitor is just facing me and I have to tell you what to do.
Oh, shit. That thing, that better be on easy.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of difficult, this game.
I've got it on just normal, and I'm dying a few times here.
Witcher 2 was like that as well.
It is not the easiest game in the world.
I'm looking forward to playing this thing again on hard. It's going to be great.
Oh, I'm only playing this once. I'm going to do a full 100% run through once, rather than play it a bunch of times, at least to me. But yeah, so you're enjoying it.
Fucking loving it. It's a great game.
That's good. Finny, what have you been playing?
Finally gave in to your constant heckling and played Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yep.
First of all, because as I give my opinion, I know that John is slowly going to get more and more angry. I will say that it was a very good game. There's no denying that. It's a beautiful looking game. The artistry in it is incredible. Even with its age, it is a stunningly good-looking game. Like, the water effects are some of the best that I've ever seen. So, all of its aesthetics are brilliant, I will say that. The controls, controlling each brother with different side of the controller, that broke my brain.
In the beginning, right? But
no, all the way through.
Really, it never coalesced?
Yep, in fact, I could see exactly the parts where my brain fell apart when I tried to make the two brothers go in one direction and they went in completely different directions. I get them mixed up, like, on different sides of the screen, and I go cross-eyed. It hurt me. It hurt my brain at times. I was like, I'm getting a headache trying to make it. So that, the puzzles weren't too bad. It was actually just general movement, like walking down a straight path, I've gone cross-eyed.
So controls aside, even though controls are the main reason why I love this game.
Well, no, the implementation of the controls is brilliant. But it's not that the controls are bad, it's just that my brain couldn't comprehend it.
Okay. Now, before you say the obvious but and downside that you're about to say, was it a victim to hype? To my hype?
Not really, no. It wasn't that.
Okay, so what's the
okay,
downside?
so the whole feels thing that you kept on going on about is, well, it's an old game, so spoiler alert.
We already ruined it in the episode we talked about.
Yeah, I know, but spoiler alert in case anyone came in late. You and your brothers... Okay, so the younger brother watched the mother die drowning because he couldn't save her, and now the father is dying of a sickness which you have to go on a mission for with your older brother to this tree, we'll just call it the Tree of Life, to collect some water in it which should cure him. As you go along, near the end, you finally get to the Tree of Life, your brother dies, so the older brother dies, so the younger brother has to get back alone. That's supposed to be the whole big emotional impact part. Right, now, the brother dying didn't really impact me at all, and the reason for that is, after probably... Okay, it just became a war of attrition, basically. It was like the game developers kept on going, this world sucks, there's nothing good. You're like, okay, I get it. And for that point, when it came to that, I was just like, you can't do anything anymore. Nothing will affect me because there is nothing but crap in this world. And that was the part that got me. It was this war of attrition the developers seemed to... At the start, how you had to help the troll get his wife back and all that sort of thing, that was good, because that was despair contrasted with hope. There was a light, and there's an old saying that there can be no true despair without hope.
Did you not find the hope when you then held down the trigger and finally swum through the thing?
Well, no, that was different. That wasn't so much hope as it was like, okay, the younger brother rising up and overcoming. Yeah. That was pretty powerful. Burying your older brother, that was powerful, just because the way they showed the mental, physical, and emotional exhaustion of the younger brother was brilliant. So burying the
time it took, and...
exactly. But the whole the death of the older brother did not really affect me at all. A, because he kind of got himself killed. And B, because at that point it was just like, oh, okay, fine. It was a little bit like the Wolfenstein: The New Order. It's like, oh, this okay, fine, I get it. The Nazis are bad. You don't have to stop trying to convince me.
Stay away from spider bitches is the real answer. No, but Finny, just so you know, the impactful part for me, the feels part was not him dying. The feels part for me was that when the little brother is trying to swim and you realize you can hold down both triggers. That was the part that got me.
Well, that did as well. That had power to it, so that was that part was good. The other problem, I suppose, the end for it made it just was a sense that the younger brother, his effort was wasted. Like, yeah, okay, so he saved his dad. His dad did not seem to give two fucks about the fact that he was alive and had saved him. He was more like, oh damn, sort of deal.
He also did not give a shit about the placement of that grave on that hillside.
I could not care less.
Harry,
the Griffin, I think, was my favourite part.
That's right, yeah, I forgot about the Griffin.
Because the Griffin, when it comes back, that was sort of the only sort of ray of hope there, because it was the only thing to the entire game that showed the younger brother any sort of comfort or affection. So that was
other than older brother towards the end.
Yeah, that was it. So, it was a good game. Don't get me wrong, it was a good game. Parts of it were sublime, like the two brothers inside the giant's castle. The contrast, like the very big juxtaposition of them against the oversized furniture. Like you're truly insignificant there. That was sublime. So parts of it were sublime, but as a whole, I thought it was a good game. but I didn't take away from it what you did, John. It just didn't affect me that much because it was this constant battle of attrition of the developers constantly saying that everything sucks. You're like, okay, at that point, I get it. Everything sucks. You can't do anything to affect me anymore.
Well, Andrew, the only thing I want to really say, and I think John will probably agree with me on this,
is the graves on the cliffside to go?
No. I think the reason that John and I love that swimming scene so much, I'll explain my thought process as I went through it.
Oh, please don't.
It's not...
Don't explain your thought process. You'll break the internet.
Yeah, I know, it's the best. But it's not a case of you learning that pushing the older brother's controller to get you through the water works, because firstly, your mind is so ingrained with these two controllers controlling each of the brothers by this point of the game that it's not a analyzed process, it's a felt process. You
feel you need help, so you press the controller.
You feel you need it, and as I pushed that joystick and the brother pushed himself through the water, and it speeds the camera up just a little bit because you're really getting an oomph out of that scene. Like, he moves a lot faster just for a split second. You see him move and you feel that the brother has helped before your brain has even gone left trigger, lets you get past this invisible wall. You don't think in game analytics. You don't think in controller. There is no controller. There is the older brother helping you. And holy shit, did I tear up at that scene.
I think I know what might have happened. Mm-hmm. Because Finney and Tucker had a similar experience where they're like, oh, good game, but, it didn't affect me too much.
Yeah.
Tucker had the same problem with Finney with the controls, where they never coalesced into a cohesive sort of deal towards the end.
Well,
so maybe the fact that you didn't... Like, it's meant to be hard in the beginning, like brothers are when they fight. But then when they band together towards the end, you're meant to, by that point, have worked it out in your head.
I was better at using the controls at the end, but it was, as I said, the puzzles in that were you needed to get it to work. Those parts I could understand. It was literally running down straight paths. It was as if, an acrobat or something, an Olympic acrobat, could do the whole... The Olympic course on that and win a gold medal, then attempt to walk down the
wheelchair.
Attempt to walk down the street, fall over everything, run into everyone, because for whatever reason their brain just didn't work there. In the puzzles, it was fine. For instance, there's the part when you first enter the cave, like the troll dungeon and that, where you have to pick up the big brass rod to jam it. Yeah. That was great, because that was exactly like trying to carry something big, long, and heavy with your brother. It's like, go that way, no, go that way, go this way, shut up, you idiot, go that... It was exactly like trying to do any sort of semi-complicated task with your brother. It's like, it just does not work. But in the puzzles, the controls worked fine. As I said, it was this immense comedic part where, like, I'm running down a straight path, and my brain has just broken in two. That was the part that got me. So it wasn't as though I couldn't comprehend the controls, it was at the stupidest, easiest parts that my comprehension of them fell apart.
Andrew, you were saying that happened a few times for you, where you're running, and then all of a sudden your brain does something wishy-washy, and then one brother goes in this direction, the other one goes in that. It's like a complete mental break. I don't know about John, but my experience was not that. It was about halfway through the game, everything clicked. It just clicked, and
after
left finger was older brother, right finger was younger, and I never got that weird loopy thing.
I just did things, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, after the troll stuff, because that was like their first big, the Hobbit-style adventure together, everything just clicked for me, and from then the game... Like, the puzzles in the game are fucking easy. It's not about that. I just think that... I mean, your opinion on the game is perfectly valid, Finney. That's great. I'm glad you played it. I just think that one for like a $15 game from an indie studio that sort of kind of came out of nowhere. It was certainly something I was not expecting it to be as good as it was, and we very rarely see games where the mechanics are part of the story. in fact, I don't think I've seen a game where the mechanics are part of the story the way this is. And so that's what got me so much was the interaction, the mechanics, and the story, rather than specifically that the brother dies or the plot points of the story. That was
mechanically it was brilliant. But but a big part of yours and Harry's was sort of on the feels part, and that didn't affect me. Like, I can appreciate that the mechanics were brilliant. As I said, the game is very good.
No, but I mean that the mechanics,
the way it affected you.
I mean that the mechanics are the reason that we felt the feels. You know what I mean? Like, if this was a normal platformer and the brother dies, and we had to do exactly the same thing, but it was a normal platformer, I don't think we would have felt anything.
Yeah, it's the thing that makes it great is that it blurs the lines. It's not a game where you can say, oh, the graphics were good, but the mechanics were bad, or the story was all right. Everything's interwoven.
Well,
the way it looks is the way it works.
Bad.
Yeah,
but the control scheme, the way they implemented it into the story was brilliant, and at the end, how you all of a sudden tasks that you had to perform with both, you now have to perform alone. And initially, you run in, and it's not working, so you have to use the left trigger. That was brilliant. There's nothing wrong with that. I didn't say that at all.
No, I'm
well, what we're saying is that's what caused the feels for us. Yeah. That part.
Fair enough.
Anyway, well, good you played it. I'm glad. Are you glad you played it though?
Yeah.
To at least have seen it. It's 2.5 hours, 3 hours. It's not really long anyway. And now Callum can never play it.
There's really no point in me playing this game anymore.
Sorry.
There's just no reason. Everything is kind of sort of destroyed.
Yeah, sorry, Callum.
No hope is left.
Yeah.
Fez 2 is cancelled.
This is probably also why I've never seen The Sixth Sense.
Yeah.
I've never seen this movie because the plot was revealed to me a week after it came out. Yeah. I'm like, well, fuck, there's no point in me watching it now, is there?
No, I'm never going to watch The Empire Strikes Back either.
Yeah.
So, Callum, what have you been playing?
Well, I've been basically trying to educate you on how to properly defeat bosses in the Old Republic.
Listen, man, sand demons are no joke.
I don't know how you had difficulty with him. Like, it took me ages to figure out who you were talking about. I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. I didn't even get killed by him once.
I didn't realize he was AoEing, and I was like...
They give you a plain marker whenever there's an AoE. It's the most obvious thing ever.
If you aren't colorblind, it's the same fucking color as the ground.
Oh, good point. Yeah, no, because I've got the marker, so I just move out of the marker. Done.
Yeah. You've got to check your color privilege, Callan. It's triggering me.
Yeah, no, I've just been taking advantage of the 12 times story XP and essentially playing, because I played it quite a while ago, and I was explaining to you the other day, that there was this one boss in the Jedi Knight arc. Everybody will know him as Executor Kranis. I'm not going to reveal any story of what the heck he is, but he's a silver and gold, so he's a champion. And anyone who's ever tried to take on a champion, you need a team to take down a champion. A champion you can't take down by yourself. And they give you some NPCs. The only problem is when you get a champion, they usually are both DPS and tank from your perspective. So I got killed by this guy 12 times before I finally got through him.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I actually counted. And I figured out basically the way to defeat him was to be an absolute pussy and just camouflage the moment he comes to attack so that he attacks the NPCs. And then whatever you do, build up his aggro on him in any way, shape or form. Just use the weakest attacks you've got on him constantly. Wow, and the other guys can hold the aggro. But other than that, I've actually been thoroughly enjoying it. I now have 6 characters. I think 4 of them are supposedly characters I'm doing with you lot, because you guys don't seem to play it that often. They've sat there unloved for quite some time.
Well, I play it all the time, but we can't play together unless everybody's there. So.
Well, we do have those 2 characters that we started, the Sith Warriors, but I think you went ahead and did the Sith Warrior anyway.
I went ahead and did the Sith Warrior anyway, yeah. I wanted to try the story.
Well, I'm probably going to do my Sith Warrior next, and then probably move on to Inquisitor.
It's a fun story. We should do our Imperial Agent one. It reminds me, the world boss you talked about, the very first raid that WoW ever had was called Molten Core, and the big boss in there is called Ragnaros, and he can't move. He's like a lava dude, so he's inside the lava, so he doesn't move, but he's, same thing, DPS and tank. And the raid, or it wasn't even a raid, it was a dungeon back then. It said it was an 8-man, but you actually need 40 people to kill him. And so it became a joke, and so the next dungeon that Blizzard put out, they made it an 80-person dungeon. And it just got harder and harder from there. So that reminds me a lot of that, actually.
Yeah, the only time I've really tried to take on world bosses, apart from Guild Wars 2, because those world bosses are pathetic, was in the Old Republic, and it took only 6 of us, funnily enough, to take down the world boss on Balmorra. You can find him on the Republic side, sort of near that, where the grass stops growing. People will know where I'm referring to. And he's just hidden around the side there. He looks like a regular droid, and then you see the fact that he has 189,000 health. And you're like, well, shit. I accidentally attacked him thinking he was part of a kill the droids bonus mission, and so I went to attack him, and then I saw his health, and I'm like, well, this was a mistake.
So are you enjoying the 12 times XP event?
It makes life so much easier, and it proved my point that one boss, Kranos, is way overspec'd for your mission. Unless you know how to deal with him, you're going to lose, because it was a level 43 mission, and I was level 51. And I still got absolutely whomped every time I tried to attack him and accidentally took the aggro.
Right, yeah.
That's
good.
I still can't get into the whole flashpoint thing, though. I just can't be bothered waiting for a group. And then you get a group that is full of complete freaking retards. I cannot be bothered with that. So until you guys start playing, I'm not bothering with flashpoints.
Well, I'm not doing flashpoints at all because you don't get extra XP from it until
the story. Some of the stories in them are pretty fun.
I do flashpoints in the when there was no 12 times XP.
Because you needed the XP.
Because you need the XP. So when we all play, we'll.
Remember my proposition that just for a good laugh and to make essentially everything easy when necessary for the guys who are newer to this, i.e. Finney. I'll take my Jedi, because we're all playing Jedi Knight. I'll bring back my Jedi Knight character, who's currently level 51, so you can do whatever mission you want, and you don't have to worry about ever being killed, because I can just go and take the aggro and whomp everything.
Nice.
And I don't care, I'm only doing this for story. I don't really care about the XP. I'm still doing missions even though they only give me 6 XP, because I haven't done them before.
It's funny, speaking of story, I always play the opposite of what I should be playing. Like, if I'm an Imperial agent...
your Jedi Knight is a Sith.
A Jedi Knight is a Sith, and I play a bad Jedi Knight, because that's got all the interesting choices and dialogue and grey moral areas, right? So I never play straight, I never play, a Darth Vader guy, or I never play a pure Jedi Knight, or whatever, or a smuggler who's just after coins. I'm always, a good smuggler or a bad smuggler. Except I'm playing the Sith Warrior. I'm playing the Sith Warrior, dude. The Sith Warrior, I'm playing it as full dark side as possible. I shock Vet every time.
Shocking Vet is so much fun.
I am at minus 8,000 points with Vet.
Minus
8,000.
Yeah, no, I remember you mentioning you somehow got minus 412 in one hit. And I'm like, how did you do that?
I guess it builds up.
I don't understand.
So I'm making every dark side choice, even if it fucks me over in the story. I could hear more dialogue, but instead I kill this guy 3 steps before I should, because it gets me 50 or 100 dark side points. I'm being as bad as possible, and I look like Darth Maul, and I've got a respirator thing. I look so fucking bad. It is so fun to be a bad guy in this game. Holy shit.
Yeah, no, I've heard that the bounty hunter is the most fun for being a bad guy.
I think that's what we need to try.
The only thing I can remember about Vet was, for those who don't know, Vet is just a very early on companion in the Sith Warrior, and she's a slave, and she still wears a shock collar unless you remove it from her. And essentially every single conversation with Vet, you have the option to shock her for talking.
Every time she tries to talk to you, you can just
you can just shock her.
So
and I still think,
and then I gave my shocker to Jacer, to one of my other companions. So my other companion now is in control of the shocker, and she just shocks him randomly. Shocks her randomly.
My favourite time shocking her, though, was when you take her out to help you and she finds all of these hidden switches and stuff so that you can open up the tomb of Marco Ragnos, I think it is. And she goes, "Oh, no worries, you don't have to thank me." And he goes, "No, I don't," and shocks her.
It's
It's
so
like she's
good.
just done all this stuff while you shock.
It's so good. Anyway, Star Wars is
brilliant.
still fucking fun.
It's just fun, like, being a dick as a Sith is fun, but being a dick as a Jedi is actually even more fun.
Oh, yeah.
Because everyone expects you to be good, and you're like, haha, nope.
Yeah. Anyway, better wrap this up, running a bit long. Who has anything else to say?
Harry,
Yes.
there's a game on Steam called Cry of Fear. It's free. It's a mod of the original Half-Life Source engine. Download it and play it.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
What's it called? Cry of
Of Fear.
Oh, this looks like John Clark Simulator. Just
It's
everything,
psychological
everything
horror.
you want from a video game.
Very,
John.
very Fear-esque.
Oh yeah.
Cry of Fear is a psychological single-player and co-op horror game set in a deserted town filled with horrific creatures. And no, I'm not playing this.
Yeah. The sad thing, of course, is co-op fear is an oxymoron. You cannot get a scary game that's
Play it
co-op.
by yourself.
Are you fucking kidding me, Harry?
Yeah, I'll play it by myself if that's
I
an
played
option.
Five Nights at Freddy's with 5 people here, all drunk, having a good time, and I still got scared.
Yes, and you're a complete pussy.
So maybe this game's for me.
Yeah. Oh, just very quickly, quick rant, because, I have to fit in another rant today. I work in the wrong industry to deal with upgrades and updates, right?
Is this OS 10.10?
No, this is Microsoft Windows 10. No, Microsoft Windows X. So you know it's a free upgrade for like the next year or whatever if you register, right?
Wait, are you actually basing a corporate decision on a new operating system?
Yes.
Are you an idiot? There's a reason Enterprise doesn't take on a new operating system the moment it comes out, because it's a bad idea.
Yes, but
You wait for all of the consumer plebs to test it for bugs.
Exactly. Herein lies the problem, okay? Because we're a small/medium business. We need to kind of cut corners here and there. And so for the next year, upgrading our 100 computers is free. In a year and a half, it won't be free.
So just do it. Who cares?
Well, that's the question. But of course, I called up some of our different labs, and some are like, yeah, as soon as Windows 10 comes out, we got some new software for you that'll run on Windows 10. Others are like, lol, Windows 10? No, we're still on XP.
Oh my god, we'll get rid of those people.
Yeah, well, you can't, because they're the only ones that make the specific instrument that will test the bloody something, of your dirt. So we have to use that equipment.
Well,
I've seen a
bought
program
25
that comes in
Surface
that is all colourful. Like it's just a point of sale application. But if you run it on 64-bit, all the colours disappear. That is the only symptom of running it on a 64-bit operating system, and we, for the life of us, can't figure out why.
That is so weird.
Everything else works fine in the operating system. It's just that it won't populate colours,
No.
and we can't figure this out.
Yeah. So, well, I'm just saying that Microsoft might run into this problem elsewhere by only having a free upgrade for a year, because their big thing is enterprise, and so lots of enterprises aren't going to upgrade.
Because
in time.
Enterprise will upgrade anyway.
yeah, if Enterprise wants to pay something, they'll pay it. It's
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a
this
good
is-
point
yeah,
there.
This
They'll
has
update
never
3
been
years now.
anything. Licensing costs have never been anything new to them.
yeah. They just pay it. They pay everything.
Fair enough.
Speaking of Enterprise, though, I was asked to purchase for a client 25 computers, screens, mice, and keyboards, right? And I wanted to get them all Surfaces, and then one guy said, no, don't get the Surfaces, get us ThinkPads. I was like, alright, get you all ThinkPads. Did the price for the ThinkPads, so all the ThinkPads, everything all together was going to cost $15,000, right? and they want to get it in before the end of the financial year because there's some tax breaks.
Yeah, 20,000.
And then he saw my Surface Pro, and then he goes, actually, I want them all to be that. So I then had to cancel the order and buy 25 Surface Pros. And now it is a $38,000 purchase.
So did you just piss off Jared? Because I like Jared.
Jared's a cool guy actually. We're doing.
Don't annoy Jared. I like Jared.
No, I'm going to purchase them through a separate entity. But the thing is, the big thing is because they do a lot of. It's a construction company. They do a lot of plans and all that sort of thing. So they do a lot of markup. So the Surface Pro is good for that. The other thing is the ThinkPads we were looking at had that little mouse clitoris thing. Remember those?
The clip mouse.
Yeah, remember those things that are in the middle of the keyboard? And,
yep.
Yeah, little nubbin. It still had that, and I was like, I don't want to buy a computer that still has one of those. So I'm happy that we're getting the Surfaces now.
They were pretty cool, actually, back in the day.
Yeah, before trackpads got good. Anyway, is that it from you guys?
That's it.
All right,
I can start a war on trackpad, but I'm not going to bother.
Yeah. The only trackpad I like is the MacBook Air trackpad. It's so good. Like, I would prefer to use that than a mouse.
I'd prefer to use a clip mouse over a trackpad, and then I'd prefer to use a real mouse over a clip mouse.
That's weird.
Harry, you don't lend credence to my argument.
Well, either way, I'd like to thank you all for joining us for Uninformed. Please subscribe to us on iTunes, watch us on YouTube, tweet us at Uninformed News, or email us at uninformedpodcast@gmail.com. I'm John Clark.
I'm Harrison Lake.
I'm Andrew Finn.
And I'm Callan Hillston.
And you've become Uninformed.